There we go.
Amazing. Hello, everyone. I'm Dennis.
I'm Andrew.
We are the Crafty Lumberjacks. We're so excited to get crafty with you today. Today, we're making our DIY hand-sewn stem stitch cards for the fall. If you know, you know, and it's National Sewing Month this month.
Yes. And what's really great about this stitch specifically is that it's quick and it's really easy to pick up. I'm not a sewer and I've done it twice already, and I'm pretty impressed with what I've made. I made that one, I think. And it looks really great. And when you add a handmade element to something like a card, it really just takes it over the top because the person who receives it knows that you took so much time for them.
Yes, and this is a great activity when you're binge watching, looking for something to do. I'm someone that I always like to have little side projects, so I always have something going on. I want to try to get off my phone as much as I can. So this is just a great project to kind of set up and just kind of come back to it when you're feeling inspired. We do these craft classes every month. Next month, we're going to be doing a craft class for Halloween, which we're super excited for. We're going to be creating these DIY vintage retro Halloween candles.
And they have a cute base. They're just not here, but they are super cute. You can actually check out the link.
Yes, this is on October 14th, and we want to encourage all families to join us. This is a family-friendly project.
Yeah.
We hope to see you there. Shout out to Fiskars for having us. At the end of today's class, we are going to do a giveaway, so we want you to stay through to the end of the class. For the giveaway, we'll be using and featuring Fiskars products today. And of course, everything that we use today here, you can find at Michaels or at Michaels.com. And I think we're ready to get started.
Yes, if this is your first time, we do a giveaway every single class, and it's only for the people who are watching like you live right now. So you will want to stick around. We're giving away a lot of great Fiskars products, which you can use to make this project specifically or a million other things that you create on your own.
All right, so we can switch the camera now, if you don't mind. All right, we are doing a basic stem stitch here.
Any chance we could switch the camera to the close-up? It should be under Crafty Lumberjacks. Crafty Lumberjacks iPhone.
I am not sure if our host is still on. Let me see if I have the ability to do it on my side.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
You know, it's Friday the 13th. Anything can happen.
You know, I was saying earlier that I have tripped like 5 times today. I am just all over the place. You're right. It is Friday the 13th. So these things are super exciting.
I've got a spotlight. Does that work for you guys?
That's
perfect. As long as
fantastic.
Thank you. So we're going to be using tracing paper for this. Of course, there's a lot of different techniques that you can use when copying an image and sewing it. I'm using the tracing paper because this is what I had in my crafting stash. We use this for a lot of different projects and things. And then what I did here was I just traced a font. Stem stitching is great for kind of delicate fonts or handwriting. So what I did, and what's great about the tracing paper here, is I even put this up to my iPhone, and you can kind of see through it. I found a font that I liked, and I just traced the font on the iPhone, with my tracing paper.
And I think what's really great is I have poor penmanship, as a lot of us do. So having the ability to just trace something over, you could print it out. You can use what Dennis did, use it on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, or you could even take it from a book. So there's many, many options.
For my fabric piece here, I'm using a small piece of denim that we had from another DIY project that we used, but of course you can use any fabric. I like to use the denim because it's a little more sturdy than, other fabrics here. And also I just really like the look.
Yeah, I think the denim gives it a nice texture, a nice look, but really any fabric that you can sew on will work with this project 100%.
And of course, we are on the chat here, but it's kind of, we have a lot going on, and you see we're having some technical difficulties. So if we miss a question, we're so sorry. We'll try to cover as much as we can today. We're going to be starting. Fiskars has a whole bunch of sewing
kits.
Yes, at Michaels. Where's the kit? Oh, here we go.
So here's the Fiskars sewing kit. This is the 62-piece sewing essentials kit. Some of the things in here are This 4-inch curved pair of scissors. Love, love, love these. It has a 5-foot measuring tape. Now, this isn't just one of those measuring tapes you usually get in a kit. This is retractable. I have to say, we use this measuring kit for so many of our projects. It's always on hand. It's always so nice to have something you can just like quickly measure. If you do a lot of cutting machine projects, this is a tool that we use constantly.
Yeah, so we're going to be giving away this today for one of our giveaways. I want to get started here, but I just wanted to talk about the Fiskars product.
I could talk about it all day, but I will go back to explaining what's in the kit.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So I have my image here. I have my fabric and my embroidery hoop ready to go. I really can't. Yes, thank you. And now I'm just going to do a quick stitch for my tracing paper here on my embroidery hoop. This is going to help. Wait, sorry. This is making me like have vertigo here. I'm not sure what's going on. But I'm just going to tack down my tracing paper.
And this is just so your tracing paper doesn't move while you're sewing.
Yeah. And we're just going to stitch that down. Again, there's a lot of different ways. You can just pin this. You don't even have to. If you have a larger piece of tracing paper, what you can do is just kind of have your tracing paper in your embroidery hoop there. And I'm just going to do a little box, just again to help keep my tracing paper in place.
Can everybody see the close-up that we have on the camera? Will you just let us know in the chats? We just want to make sure that this class is as easy to understand virtually. So we just want to make sure that you can see everything. People are saying yes, yes,
wonderful,
yes,
wonderful.
Yes.
Is
so
anybody crafting along with us today or just kind of watching, learning the basic techniques?
Tina said, yes, would love a single screen if possible. Kayla, if there is any way, I don't know how to do that, but if there is any way just to make the screen the close-up, that would be awesome. If not, don't worry.
I will give it a try. We have it.
Thank you so much.
All right, and then I'm just going to tie it off on the end here. And I don't know how many returnees we have today, but you know, my mom was a sewer, a quilter, and she only used Fiskars products because, you know, A of all, they're the best. But she used to have everything labeled in our house that you could not touch half of the things. So she'd have her good fabric scissors, and it would have a giant sticker on it that said, "Do not touch these fabric scissors." And I just always think of her, of course, when I'm crafting, because you know I got a lot of my crafting bug from her and from my dad. But I just think it's so funny that Fiskars has been around for so long. Okay, so now we're going to do the basic stem stitch. What we're going to do here is I'm going to start at the top of my H. I'm using the word hey. Of course, you can use any word. These are greeting cards that we're doing that you could send throughout the year. So if we kept it generic, we have hello, hey, some that say hi. And now I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to start at the top of my H there. And now to get the stitch started, you are going to want to go a little longer than a traditional style of stitch. So I'd say, you know, if you're going a half an inch, I'd say go like a little over a half an inch to get started. And really the trick with the stem stitch is just keeping it in the same rhythm and way that you're doing it. Let's see if I can get it like nice and close. So now before I pull my thread, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I'm using embroidery thread. Sorry, I feel a little thrown from how we started today, but I'm using embroidery thread. And rather than using the whole thread, what I did was I divided it. So I have about 3 individual threads here that I'm using for my stem stitch. Okay, so now before I tack that down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the middle of the stem of the first stitch here. Bring it up through the top, and I'm going to keep all of my stitching at the top portion of my letter here. So that's our first little go-to stitch. So now to continue the stitch, I'm going to go now a regular stitch length. So about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch, you know, whatever. The smaller the stitches, the nicer the font will look. And now before, oh, go ahead. You're going to say something? Now, before I tack it down, what I'm going to do, I hope you can see this, is I'm going to bring it through the last hole, which is actually the first stitch that I did. I'm going to bring it up through the same hole, keeping it at the top of my line here, and pull through, creating my first little stitch. Now I'm going to continue. So again, it's very repetitive. Once you get into the rhythm, it's really, you know, mindless. So again, I'm going about a 1/2 stitch, or yeah, a 1/2 stitch down, pulling it. Before I get to the edge there, what I'm doing is I'm going back and I'm putting it through
the hole of the last stitch.
Yes, yes.
So when you're doing this, what you want to be focusing on is keeping the stitches equal length and keeping the thread to one side consistently.
Yeah, so
Oh, you did it through there.
Well, yeah.
So someone asked a question, how do you thread? Like, do you have any tips on threading a needle? This is a needle threader that comes in the essential kit. And what's great about this is it makes threading a needle so easy. Let us know in the chat if you've ever used one of these. I mean, this to me is definitely essential.
All right, I'm back here. Okay, again, so I'm going through, you know, my little stitch here. And I'm going a little backwards through the last stitch that I, yep, and then keeping it towards the top, pulling it through. And you see I'm already getting a nice little even line there. Again, continuing, going about a stitch length. Before I pull it through, I'm going to come through the back, through my last stitch. So it's kind of like overlapping a little bit. And I go towards the top. Now, when we come up to curves here, I kind of just wing it. I do the best that I can. What I do is I still keep my same direction. So I still keep the stitch coming to the top. But sometimes around a curve or something, I'll just go make a little smaller stitch. Or sometimes I'll cheat it and just start a whole new stitch. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So you want to go a stitch length, then bring the needle through the back, through the last stitch.
Yes, here I'm starting a new one because I just am. This is, I'm kind of, you don't see, but I'm kind of like straddling the phone. And it's a little challenging. So here we go. I'm going to do my stitch. You know, again, following my tracing paper here. And I'm doing this right on the tracing paper. What we'll do once we're finished is we will just carefully remove the tracing paper. Some people use the markers. Some people use
There's like
they'll even draw right onto the fabric and stitch directly over it.
I think what's great about this too is it's one of those, you know, with sewing in general, you really do get the hang of it as you go. So if you're making something as simple as cards, it really gives you the leeway to get better and better. So you send the cards that you started with to the people you don't like as much.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
you know, the better ones, you know, you give them to like your besties. There's a hierarchy when it comes to crafting and gifting, isn't there?
I think so.
But even like mine, I definitely say I'm not a sewer. Let me see where mine is. But there is charm in our cat sat on this one, so the stitching got a lot, got a little disheveled and squished. But there is something about something being handmade when without it being perfect, it really is charming. It's more interesting. So there's all that.
I'm still working my way around the card here.
The tip is you want to, like I said before, you always want to keep the thread to one side. If you're going around a curve that's going to the right, you want to keep the thread to the right. If you're going a curve to the left, you want to keep the thread to the left. Now, if your curve goes both ways...
Wasn't there a song like that? To the left, to the left, to the left, like that slide.
Yes, yes.
Or then there's, of course,
yes.
The box to the left.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, no.
If you are doing a stitch that curves both ways, like an S, having it to the left works better than just having it to the right. I don't know why. I don't make these things up.
See, I know that is a good tip. I don't do it that way. I just keep it the same way.
All right. This is almost like watching paint dry. Do you mind if I move on to our card?
Yeah, go for it.
We're going to take a little break. Dennis is going to keep
on
going.
I'm going to keep on going.
We want to make sure that
you get the stitch. I'm so sorry. It was a little...
Actually, Kayla, do you mind putting a link to our blog post? It's at craftylumberjacks.com. In that blog post, if you are feeling a little bit lost with the stitch, because I'm more of a visual learner in the sense where I need to look at it and also read it. We have instructions that are very easy to read in the middle of the blog post that lays out how to do this stitch step by step. And I think that could be really, really helpful. Thank you, Kayla. Okay, so while Dennis keeps doing that, I'm going to move on to our card. Now, of course, Michaels sells cards that you can get that are pre-made, which I always think are great in a pinch. But hello, why not just make one out of a piece of cardstock, you know? I think that would be super easy. Let me see. Let me get this set. We're going to be using our Fiskars paper cutter for this. And what's great about this is that it cuts straight lines so easily. So what our card is going to be a 4 4¼ by a 5½ card. That's a very standard card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut our paper down to 5½ and then 8½ and then fold it in half. So if you haven't seen this before, this is the Fiskars paper cutter. This is always on hand. What's really great is it's flat. It fits in so many tight spaces. We have a very tight space here in New York. So we love this. As you can see, there is a grid here with all our measurements, very easily laid out. And I just slide the paper in. It has this nice bar here, and then I'm just going to make sure that my paper is lined up here on the ruler, check again, and then I'm just gonna move the slide, which has the little paper cutter. Now, my tip for this is when you're cutting with any paper cutter, don't force it, especially with Fiskars. The blades are so sharp, you do not need to put pressure on it. Really just let the let it glide. That's going to give you the nice and straightest line you can get. So we have 5.5 by, we're going to do 8.5. There we go. And now I'm going to fold my card in half. When I do this, I personally like to line it up on the cut sides and then hold it in the middle and then bring my other hand to the other side and pinch it right in the middle. To me, that gives me the best crease with everything lined up. If you've ever done this before and you start on the side and then all of a sudden it's more of a diagonal, that can be frustrating. This gives you a nice crisp line. I'm going to take it to the next level because it is a nice card. I want to make sure it looks the nicest. I'm going to use our bone folder. We use this a lot in this class. This is such a nice, inexpensive tool. And all it is it's plastic, but it has a dull edge. But this gives you your paper a very nice, crisp fold. There you go. And I mean, this is just as nice as a handmade or like, I'm sorry, a pre-bought one you could get, but so much cheaper.
Yeah, and
you can
this
make
way you
these
can
in bulk.
customize it. You
I
can
was going to
have it,
say,
like, be any color you want.
Right, because you know you can sew whatever you want on whatever fabric, but the backing is what's really going to make it pop. So you could do something like red for the holidays, orange for Thanksgiving, for Halloween. You know, you could really customize it to however you want. So there we have
Very
a
nice
card.
demo, Andrew.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Well, it was just me.
Oh, no.
No one else said it was good.
No, I know.
I'm still working my way here. You see, it's really coming together, really cute. And again, just keeping on.
What? There was they were talking, I guess, in the chat about the sewing, how to do the sewing, thread the sewing needle. Should I show it?
Oh, sure. For my E, I'm just going, like following the line, and then I'm going to work backwards. And again, still the same rhythm where I'm keeping the thread down and still coming up towards the top of the letter. So going through the same stitch, pulling forward and up. Oh, sorry. Well, okay. Coming through the same hole. And continuing the stitch.
Here, can I show how to use the threader?
Sure.
I'm sorry if you already looked this up on a video, but here, let me show you. You know, Dennis is really great at the chats. And a lot of times he's multitasking, but today he is so busy with focusing. But here you can see the threader, and it has this very tiny, very thin piece of wire, which basically acts as a bigger eye of the needle. And what you want to do is you want to take your eye of the needle and put it, ooh, it's hard to do on the phone, and put it through.
Right? That's why I'm
know.
straddling the phone and trying to do this.
And you put it through, so the wire is sticking through the eye of the needle, just like that. And then you can take your thread, your yarn, whatever you're using, and just put it through the wire. And then you just want to pull it just like this. And then you pull the needle. And as you can see, it's literal magic. There you go, it's threaded. I mean, this is so much easier than you know, licking the thread and trying to put it through, especially I feel like with me, I wear glasses, I can't see anything. But that's just one of the things in the kit. Here, I'll show you again. The kit, it comes with...
these kits are great because you have everything you need all in one place. And then this is great if you like to travel and craft and sew.
You know, as a crafter, I'm not a sewer, but we use the plastic needle all the time. I love this for big yarn projects. Oh my gosh, we use them so much.
I think you already said the retractable.
Yeah, the retractable measuring tape is so great. They even have fabric pencils right here. This is a great gift. Even
we could have used that for the tracing.
Oh yeah, we could have. My handwriting's not that good though. But you know, this is a great gift. Even if you know a sewer, this is still a great gift because having a all fresh new materials, tools is really great. And this is far better than any of the kits I've seen. So I would recommend it as a gift. Here, I'll check in on Dennis.
I have another tip. So rather than kind of adjusting my hands to go, you know, around, you can see I'm flipping my embroidery hoop as I work. So sometimes I'm sewing upside down, sometimes I'm sewing on the side. You know, I just keep it kind of moving and grooving.
Yes, the direction is important, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I just kind of like, I'm not kind of forcing the thing to go a certain way. I'm just saying, okay, I gotta kind of turn this around and follow the shape of the design. You know, so I'm not just like, I have to look at it like this and get it done. I'm just kind of like, woo, woo, the whole time.
Well, you're doing great. We're about halfway through the class. How do you feel, Dennis?
Good. I mean, I don't know if I'll finish this one, but
yeah, we do have a swap out. Should I show the gifting board?
Sure.
All right. Oh, Timber. I started this class and I said I'm feeling clumsy, and it sure has been that way. So if you're going to make a handmade card, why not make an envelope as well? And the way you do that, the way we like to do that, is with the Fiskars Gifting Board. Now, we've used this for a handful of classes. If this is your first time, this doesn't just make envelopes. It makes boxes, envelopes, and bows. The bows are super, super cute. What's really great about this is it's super, super versatile. So if you really do like to give handmade items, having a box maker, an envelope maker, and a bow maker all in one is super helpful, especially with the holidays coming up. You know, when we were thinking about these cards, we were like, oh, should we make them like for the holidays? Because every Christmas season, when we get to December, I'm like, why didn't I prep more? Why didn't I do like more cards throughout the year? But the gifting board makes it super, super easy to do that. Now, the gifting board does come with this little guide that tells you how to do it for the card size, the envelope size. So it makes it really, really easy. Today, our card size is 4.5 by 5.5. So we want the envelope to be this size. So it's very easy to find. So we want our paper to be 1 1/8 inch. So before I do that, I'm going to cut my paper down. Now I'm using a nice thick cardstock for this, but any type will work. So again, I'm lining it up 1 1/8 right to this little, very easy to read line. And then I'm just going to cut it, and I'm going to do it the same, because for this envelope, it's actually going to be a square, but then it turns into a rectangle. It's very interesting. So we have a perfectly cut square. Hi, Connie. Welcome. Okay, so the gifting board. What we want to do here in the guide, it says that we want to position it to 3 3/4 on the ruler. So the ruler is right over here. Let me see if I can get a little closer on my phone today. Here we go. So we're positioning it to 3 3/4. What I love about this ruler, everything is super duper clear to read. Makes it very, very easy, especially in my old age. I feel like my eyesight is all over the place. Now, Fiskars, the gifting board also comes with this little stylus. Our little scoring stylus. So what I'm going to do, I have my paper lined up to 3 3/4. I'm going to use this line right here. It's a little indent. And I'm going to take my stylus and I'm going to push it all the way to the edge. I'm just going to go a couple of times.
Hi, Teddy.
You don't want to go too hard.
Hi, sweetie.
Oh, look who's here.
Hi, I love you.
That's Teddy. He is feeling a certain way today.
I think we all are.
So I don't want to push down too hard because I don't want to rip the paper. And it really does, depending on the weight of the paper, the thickness of the paper, you do want to be careful with that. So I'm going to push it there because we really just want to crease. And then I'm going to punch. And then I'm going to take my scored edge and I'm going to line it up to this little bracket right here. And I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to take this scored line, oops, and go through just like that. Make sure it's nice and scored, and then punch again. And then go one more time. So again, I'm taking my scored line that I just did, lining it up with the ruler. I'm not reading the ruler, but I'm lining it up so it's nice and straight and to this little plastic piece right here. And I'm punching again. Let's see. There we go. Kind of like the sewing project. What I like about the gifting board is it's like you use it a couple times and you really understand it. And what's great about that, oh, I already punched it. I'm like, why isn't this punching? I already punched it. What's great about that is it becomes really nice and mindless. So like Dennis said, this is a great binge watching thing. If you are doing holiday cards or handmade, even if they're these or they're not, you could make your envelopes while watching a show and it's really, really mindless and easy. There we go. So as you can see,
very nice.
Do you need to come in?
No, I'm almost there. I didn't think I was going to finish, but I'm almost there.
He's looking so good. Almost there. Now, what I love about the gifting board too is that they think about all the details. So all the things that make your envelopes, your boxes feel really complete and detail oriented. They have a punch right here where you can make it nice and curved. I love this detail so much. You see that? That's optional. You don't have to do that, but I think it's cute. I think it takes it to the next level. And then you just want to fold in your pieces. And you know, with the price of stamps these days,
keep going, or should I do the swap out?
I
think we'd be able to.
I think you keep going if you want.
Okay, I'm kind of like cheating it a little.
Great, cheat it a little. All right, and let me show you just how I tape this up, and we'll be done with that. I'm just going to use some double-sided tape for this. I'm back. Sorry, I thought I had my double-sided tape. I didn't. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two, as you can see, it is a rectangle, and it will fit our card nice and perfectly. Look how cute that is. I'm going to take my east and west, my right and left, bring them in, and then the one on the south, on the bottom, I'm going to bring up. So I'm going to add 2 pieces of double-sided tape right here. If you don't have double-sided tape, you could easily use craft glue. You could also use glue dots. Let's see. And of course, our double-sided tape has cat hair on
all
it.
over it.
Of course.
It has to.
There we go. And I'm just going to push it down. And then I'll leave this open, and then you can seal the deal. But I mean, how cute is that? That's really beautiful. What I like about this too, we were talking about the cards, is you can customize these color-wise. I mean, look how cute these 2 colors go together. I love that. I think that's a perfect early fall, beautiful look.
All right. So I didn't quite finish, but we do have a swap out here. We're now going to show you how we get kind of our fabric to the card.
Okay, so the swap out. Oh, it's over there.
Yes.
Now to take off your the transfer.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually we use the
tape.
little transfer paper, the trace paper. We actually use our kit here, the little scissors here, just to delicately kind of get the paper off. I kind of just stopped as I was working here. So you can kind of see I got a lot done in the allotted time.
You did really well. I mean, you did that in less than a half hour. And if you weren't trying to teach and talk and all that, you'd be quick.
Thank you.
I mean, you don't have to show this. I think it's...
Oh, yeah. So you just want to lightly, sometimes I'll rip and kind of just pull it away. See, it kind of comes right off. And then if you can't get it off, you can use your little scissors here and just kind of go in the edges. But it should just come right off. Some of these other pencils and things, what you can do is you can run them underwater.
You know, I like that, but for something that I'm trying to make quickly, to me personally, I don't want to wait for it to dry.
I mean, this is utterly charming. Even that I did a rush job and had a frantic start.
You think a 2 or a 3?
Maybe a 3. All right, so you get it. So you just remove the tracing paper around there. So cute. We have a little swap out here. We did this on a piece of canvas, a little yellow. And now what we're going to use is we're going to use the rotary cutter here, which is also going to be part of our giveaway today. This is the rotary lilac.
Yeah, the lilac.
So cute. This is one of our favorites. We love Fiskars because they have a lot of different styles and colors, and they keep all the crafting supplies really fun. This is great too because they have the safety on here. Really easy to use, easy to handle. And it's just
easy
like so nice.
Handle.
Heyo. It's so nice too because this is so pretty that this is something that you could just have out in your crafting room and it looks like part of the artwork, or what would you call that? Like the aesthetic. Yeah, like it's not ugly. It's really cute. All right, so I'm going to use my acrylic ruler here and my cutting mat to cut down this. And what I'm going to do is just cut it. I think we know the size we want.
Yes, the size is 3.5 by 4.5. 3.5 by 4.5. And this is another moment when you're cutting this. You could use the rotary cutter because it'll give you the nice straight lines. If you don't have one and you're really dying to make this, you could use a pair of scissors. What's really great though is that everything is, you can use the grid to your advantage on the mat. It's very, very easy to do.
Yeah, so I'm just eyeballing it right now, just to give myself a straight line. So what size did we say?
3.5 by 4.5.
Okay.
That's going to fit centered right on our card, since our card is 4 1/4 and 5.5.
3.5. So let's see.
3.5 by 4.5.
So this is kind of like here we want it, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we always love the Fiskars products because, you know, everything pretty much has a grid, keeping it really easy. Even with these little small dots here, you can line everything up really simply to get the straightest line that you possibly can get. You sure that seems like a little too close, right?
Okay.
I see the other cards.
Here you go, dear.
You have the hay.
Three and a half, 4.5.
Oh, 4.5. Okay. So I'm going here, actually.
I'm going to take this off the thing and just hold it. Those see-through rollers are great. Yes, they really are.
And again, it's just super easy to glide through and cut it. Perfect cut each time. You said 4.5.
You know, I was kind of saying before, like, you really don't have to push with the paper cutter. When I first used the Fiskars rotary cutter, I was pushing so hard because I was used to, you know, other rotary cutters. But you really just let it glide, and it cuts through fabric so easily.
What did we say? By 3.5?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I'm just cutting this down. That looks right-ish.
That looks great. You know, they do not need to be perfect. Oh, this is
now what we're using here. What?
This is what happens.
This is what
we
happens.
Start to trim, trim, trim. Trim, triminy, trim, triminy, trim, 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 trim.
All right.
All right, here's our card.
Very adorable.
Do you want to check it, how it looks?
Yeah, so cute.
Oh my gosh, come on. That is so cute.
And now what we're going to use is we're going to be using the HeatBond. So this is what we use for our patches, and it's a no-sew HeatBond. It has a double-sided adhesive, so we really love that. Do we have a regular pair of scissors? I guess I could use these. The Fiskars Scissors, of course.
Yes, of course.
Usually, like for each season, Fiskars has different scissors for each season, and typically I like to use the colors that match up with the season. So we've been using all our Halloween scissors lately, or our black scissors just for Halloween. But I guess orange is not only the iconic color, but orange is good for fall. It's good for,
you know, orange is always in style.
Have you all used this double-sided adhesive, Ultra Bond, Ultra Hold? We use this for a lot of our projects as well. It's great because it works on a lot of different materials. I have my mini iron here.
The pad is right over there.
Okay, and a little mat. You could just do this on your, you know, but again, we want safety first, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to iron it onto the back of my little piece of fabric that I hand sewed. And I cut it just to fit.
What I like about it, it really does become like a patch. So you could even actually, if you wanted to, you could make a patch to give somebody on a card and not iron it to the card like we're going to do, but iron like Dennis is doing right now, the adhesive. So then when people get it, they can iron it onto something.
Oh yes, like it's like a little yes.
Yeah,
which is great about using the iron-on HeatBond. I feel like this is so far away today.
It's something with the
yeah, something's going on.
Something with
really adorable, really charming. But what's great too is that it will hold all your stitches in place here.
Yeah.
You know, so that's good. So you won't have any unraveling or anything kind of falling off. Now everything will be nice and secure behind your little patch here that we're making.
And I like this too because you're also ironing your fabric. Because as our fabric was creased, you don't want to give a creased card.
Crease, no.
Crease, no. So that way you let that dry, or not dry, but cool down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to let it cool down. So now what happens is I'm going to peel the backing. And once I peel the backing to remove the backing, that side has an adhesive side as well. And that's going to be the side that obviously will adhere to the card, to the paper. And it holds really well. It stays in place. Really adorable. I like Andrew's idea, what he said about kind of giving someone a patch, making someone a handmade patch. So cute. How y'all doing? You still following? Did you all get the stem stitch? It was did we even teach it?
You know, today was full of many surprises and hiccups, but I think we got there.
All right. So now you see I'm just removing the backing here. Really cute and very satisfying, I may add.
Oh, I love that. They're saying yes.
Yeah, for sure. They're like, yeah,
okay,
you did fine.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, it is like it's like a 3D sticker. So cute. All right. Hello, theater lovers over there.
It's just it's almost like rubbery, right?
Yeah, it's like, well,
or
yeah,
it's not rubbery, it's malleable.
Malleable. Never seen this before. This is called HeatBond. You can find this at Michael's. They either have the little thin stripes or they have a strip, stripes. I'm in that Beetlejuice mood. Or they have this whole sheet like we're using. This is called HeatBond Ultra Hold.
And let me tell you, this will be in the same aisle as the Fiskars sewing tools.
Yes. So it's all there in that one aisle. And we love this. Well, and actually, you know, this is so large that we've been using this same one for the last like 6 years.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really, you know,
enjoy
because if it's free, it's for me.
Is it the same as iron-on hemming tape? I think
it is.
Yes.
All right. So now I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. I'm going to put this on the center of my card here, and I'm going to heat it up. Of course, because we're doing heat and paper, you want to kind of be careful. You don't want to burn through. I don't think you can. But, you know, just safety first in crafting. You don't want to get hurt.
You know, we were talking about other ways to add these to the card. You could easily, you know, sew them on. Well, I don't know if you could easily sew them on. But you could sew them on, even just kind of how Dennis did the tracing paper. Just a few tacks would be great. You could use craft glue.
You could use double-sided tape.
Double-sided tape. There are many ways to do this. This just gives it a true
seamless kind of look and vibe.
But I mean, how cute would these be for the holidays? If you're really fast and you wanted to do...
Is that okay that Teddy's just drawing that over there?
Yeah, he's fine. You could do joy. You could write joy. Mary.
Mary.
You could write...
Jingle bells. Why are we coming up with things?
That's too long for me. I don't know.
Yeah, you want it short.
Yeah. I'm thinking of ways you could extend this and, you know, use it for many different types of seasons, holidays, things like that.
And then so cute. I mean, this is all made from hand. We took, you know, under an hour. Obviously, my other one I didn't get to finish because I was rushing through and I was very thrown.
I told Dennis to write
high. But I could have made it. Yes, Andrew was like, do high. And I was like, no, I must do hey. But utterly charming. So cute.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see what else we got.
Oh, and let's put it in the envelope.
I have it right here.
Oh, it fits like
I mean, that is adorable.
Come on.
Can you even?
I love that.
Can you even?
I love that. Kayla, if you're able to, could you switch us to the other camera? Wow, that was so fast. Thank you.
That's been speaking this whole time. This was so fun.
Yes. Can you sit for a second?
Yes, let's sit. We're always open to DMs, questions. You can find us across social media, Crafty Lumberjacks, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Of course, you can always reach out to us via email if you have any questions. This video will be live on Michael's YouTube channel like tomorrow or in the next 48 hours. And then we'll also have the video on our blog where we have the step-by-step instructions, craftylumberjacks.com. Today, we are giving away a great package of Fiskars products.
Yes.
This is really fun because this is great for the holidays.
We are giving away the Essential Sewing Kit, which has 64 products inside. We are giving away the Rotary Cutter. The Rotary Cutter, yes, that's
a lilac Rotary Cutter.
The 12x12 cutting mat and the acrylic ruler. So this is such a great giveaway if you want to try sewing and more fabric type projects, or if you want to just upgrade what you have already. This is such a good such a good deal. Such a
good deal.
Such
and
a
of course, you
deal.
can find these products all at Michael's or Michaels.com.
Absolutely.
And we actually have all the things that we've used today listed on our blog, so you can easily just click and go.
Yes.
And now for the giveaway, we are going to ask a trivia question.
Yes. So
and we ask you to send those answers via DMs through social media. Again, Crafty Lumberjacks, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever platform you like to use. Or you can email us your answers at craftylumberjacks@gmail.com. And, you know, it's not that serious. Once we get all our answers, we'll kind of gather all the people, and then we pick a winner randomly.
Yes.
You can look this up. It's not that serious. We just want
No, please, you can look it up. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's just about putting your name in the hat, and we literally pick it out randomly, and it could be you. The question is, what were the first needles made out of? What material were the first needles made out of? Now, when I looked that up, there were a handful of different types, so just one will be fine. Enter, and you could win. And please join us for our next class. We're going to be doing these vintage style Halloween candles on the 14th, I think it is, 14th of October. Yep. This is great for families. Super fun. Join us for that. And
we hope to see you soon.
Yeah,
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.